Hey all. I was really looking forward to today, so I even made a little shield out of my styrofoam. Trial day, September 2nd. It's gonna go A-okay. Basically, I was one of the first of the day, so about 9:30 a.m. There was about 8 people on a Zoom call led by a lawyer who's no judge, because this is no criminal matter despite being treated like a criminal. Anyways, to make the long story short, despite having an over hour-long amazing conversation with my legal aid representative yesterday, the psychiatrist won. What can I say? Like medical law wins. It trumps all realism. And I talked about how many months I've been in therapy over the last year and a half here through direct programs through the Grey Nuns. I don't think people realize that I've worked really hard on myself as a full-time project. So I've not only taken PPHP, which is post-hospitalization psychiatric program for 6 weeks, 4 to 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. Emotional regulation through Grey Nuns I've taken, which was a 12-week program, 2 hours a week. And then I graduated a year and a half late, but to post like psychiatric outpatient program, which is a very, very intense 4 to 6 hour a day, 5 days a week program where you go through every piece of shit from your childhood, every single shame piece, guilt piece, angry piece, things that are unfair, every little sketch from your psychologically from your childhood. I went through it all. I graduated June 11th and life got a lot better. And then I've done so much ceremony, so many prayers, so many beautiful practices with my Lakota ghost dance community, with Standing Bear, whether it's vision quests or UEBs or sweat lodges and drumming or just community prayer. Life turns around when you pray that hard. But I'm apparently being persecuted for turning my life around, because apparently it looks very strange compared to 9 years of clinical depression and dark nights of the soul. It looks like I bounce out of bed in the morning and I'm eating well and I'm choosing good foods to put in my body, and I have healthy boundaries with people in my life that are directly in my life. I'm more out of the house than I am in, despite COVID nonsense. I spend a lot of time in nature, healing. But this little trial day was a joke, which means now I receive documentation back that say now that this is a criminal case that goes to Queen's Bench. And I have 30 days to put in my refutal that basically would say that this says that I am incompetent to make my own assessments for my own psychological well-being. It is possibly the most hilarious piece of shit I've ever read in my life. I wanted to read to you, I finally got some compassion yesterday. It was a really beautiful day yesterday. It kind of broke my heart open a bit more. I try to write, since they take all my paper, crayons, everything away. I had the opportunity of an actual pen because I was filling out all my Alberta Supports documents. And I wrote, cream of wheat, HPHF, whatever that means. Holy patience, holy fuck is how I put it. cry and weep as RN Binu listens intently, asks intimate and very relevant questions, takes my pulse and blood pressure, temperature via my wrist and elbow rather than the gun to my head. She even rubbed my shoulders with Voltaren on parts of my back and neck and shoulder blades that I could not reach, which made me sob with relief from such actual caregiving, but from the absolute pain and tenderness and sensitivity on my neckline, of my spine, my shoulders that are just like black and blue and green right now from men grabbing me and throwing me down to the floor for no good reason. Oh, my pain in my body is when it's touched is quite unbearable. I'd use more OJ. They don't really, I have felt a bit sick lately, so I'm like, I could use more OJ if, that's something that would be convenient for them to give me. But they won't give me anything other than full isolation. So I'm on day 6 going on 7 of full isolation out of 14 days, which means I am unable to leave this room at all. So basically, if you're a vision quester, it's not much different. You have your 12 feet, and that's all you got. So, I mean, I got this. It just sucks. Sucks that I'm in a hospital and I can't even go for a walk. I can't feel the sun on my skin. I can't go outside and breathe in that wonderful smell after it rains. None of it. The woman in Candace chooses the dark side the past few days and nights. She howls in indignation at whatever I say and locks my door despite the COVID swab coming back negative. And all my symptoms, even clearing lungs of white clear mucus as of noon Wednesday, August 1st. It's nearly 2:30 p.m. and I remain conveniently for them and me in lockdown still. How did this happen other than honestly admitting to both a sore throat and an afternoon diarrhea and choosing to self-quarantine out of radical self-responsibility? I was watching my body and health quite diligently before my arrival here at the Grey Nuns. I even packed Septical, Reactine, and Dristan just in case because I had not slept well and was a wee bit worse for wear when the crisis intervention team disrupted my long-awaited reunion, cuddles with Princess Zelda Fluffbum. Called by my own insane, grieving, and now CPTSD traumatized mother, as suggested by my brother of blood, David Michael, my so-called brother, Marcus Fung, my so-called sister, Jennifer Steed, my so-called sister, Virio Carvinen, my so-called other sister, Sparrow Grace, so-called brothers and sisters left, right, and center, who instead of talking to my face with integrity, chose to talk to my mother and put fear in her heart and force her to make a call that she shouldn't have made. And you know it. Relationships are funny things because right now, all of you are dead to me. All of you. You were nobody to me at this point. Literally, I had a psych nurse in 91 when I had more rights say, Olivia, they took the wrong woman. Your mother was the one that should have been here. And all I can do is nod and agree and hope for some advocacy. I still haven't heard from the EPS for calling in 911 after being violently assaulted here in a hospital. Every time I go to call, they take the electricity and unplug the phone so I can no longer make calls out. Often it means that there's no calls in. I've had 3 psych nurses plus a constable say that they took the wrong woman into custody here at the Grey Nuns. So why am I here? I ask you that. This is day 14. Day 14, people. I have no idea if you care or not, or have even tried to do anything. But you know what? Yoda doesn't talk about trying. It's about doing. What have you done to remedy this situation? Because like in my heart right now, I feel like people, they haven't really done anything. And very few, if just a handful, have cared enough to fight, to even just call Unit 92 for a phone call. It amazes me how little response I've received here. And like any crisis, it brings out who your true family and your true friends are. So many of them are not you. I'm beyond heartbreak on that one. But, you know, sometimes it shows up in a nurse that listens and cares and rubs your back and lets you cry it out because you're in so much pain. I don't really have much more to say. I'm done. That's your update for today, September 2nd, Thursday. Have a good night. Enjoy your freedom this long weekend.